From the Markazi Stadium in Kashi, Uzbekistan, it's match week 5 in the AFC Asian Champions League Elite 2025-2026, and it's PFC Nasaf up against a side with contrasting form from the Islamic Republic of Iran. It is Tractor that faces them. Tractor yet to lose in this competition, and they have got themselves into a fantastic position. 4th place, very well placed in the top 8 here. And in contrast to that, winless and pointless Nasaf so far, having conceded 13 goals already along the way. It's been a couple of degrees warmer than average for this time of the year, and at the Markazi Stadium the skies overhead are fairly clear, 12 degrees, and obviously it will cool off during the course of the match, but no rain forecast for the time being, at least in Uzbekistan right now. So two sides with wildly contrasting form coming into this one on this cool evening in Uzbekistan. For Tractor, well, they are on the up right now, celebrating that first ever big win in the Persian Gulf Pro League, and then moving into the elite level once again of AFC Asian Champions League football. They find themselves very, very well placed. And remember, this is match week 5, another one to follow before then there is a short break in this competition before they return to complete their 8 matches, with of course the target being that round of 16. It'll be the home side, of course, in their customary red this time out. And a side that really can afford no more slip-ups, and they will be only too aware of that. Really has not gone the way of the side from Uzbekistan right from the start. They led and were in good shape against Al Ahly in their opening matchup, only to go down 4-2. Similarly performed very well against mighty Al Hilal before losing 3-2 in that one. Comfortably beaten 4-1 by Shabab Al Ahly, and then in their last outing, second best again despite having led against Al Wahda. Well, the very, very familiar figure of the superstar who'll be in goal, Alireza Belanvand for Tractor. He has seen so much in his career and was simply outstanding in their last match out in this competition. They beat Al Shorta by 1-0, did Tractor, but in an extraordinary match. They had 4 shots to 16 taken by their opponents, but they could not get past the Iranian goalkeeper, who played an absolute blinder on the night. Tractor's form started off slightly slowly, conceding the only goal that they've let in so far along the way. That came against Shabab Al Ahly, and then there was a 0-0 draw against Al Wahda before they really clicked into form in Sharjah, winning by 5-0. And then came that match week 4 encounter with Al Shorta, which saw them emerge by 1-0. Domestically, both sides will feel they probably could be doing better. As far as Tractor are concerned, they are sitting in 8th place in the Persian Gulf Pro League, having, of course, crowned that wonderful season last season, scaling the heights. But they are actually only 4 points off the top, with a game in hand, thanks to their continental exploits. Their most recent fixture was actually postponed, a cup encounter. Somewhere. They were beaten in their last league outing by a 0-0 in Pakhtakor in Tashkent. And so it's the home fans who will be hoping that tonight is the night that things turn around. They have turned up knowing that it has to happen against the side they have beaten twice before in continental competition. In fact, the only 2 meetings between these two sides came at the elite level of AFC competition, and that was back in 2015. It was a pair of 2-1 victories for PFC Nasaf. that year, they will look to seek some inspiration and maybe steer them past Tractor and get themselves up and running. Nasaf are sitting third in the Uzbekistan Super League right now. 3 points off the top, beaten last time out, as I said. And now time for their players to turn their focus back to continental competition. Time now to take a little look at the respective coaches here, and coming into this one, of course, the pressure really is on Ruzigor Berdiev, who takes charge of Nasaf. The 54-year-old Uzbekistan manager who's been there and done that, been there since 2012. As we take a look in here at our officials from Malaysia, I'll introduce them properly in just a moment. But as far as Berdiev's selection is concerned here, two changes from the side that started and lost that match against Al-Wada. Mukhmadiev is in, Kolovic is out, Nurolayev is in for Abdurakhmatov. The two changes made by him there. He's kept faith with goalkeeper Abduvakid Nematov, who's had a difficult campaign on the continent. That was noteworthy last time out as well, as they surrendered the lead in match day 4 encounter. Spoken already about the stunning form of Ali Raza Belanvand in terms of what happened for Tractor last time out. They come into this one with changes made from their last outing, and that was in the 1-0 victory against Al Shota, to which they owed so much to the towering figure of that goalkeeper. Tractor coming into this one with those 3 changes to their lineup, as Jam Robakov has come in. Drozdek has actually got the nod up top, and Regi Lushkia. Here are officials. Mohamed Nazruddin from Malaysia is our referee, assisted by Hamid Zaidul and Mohamed Arifshan Abdul Razid. The 4th official is from the Kyrgyz Republic, that's Taichiev Mederebek. So let's just have a little look at this changed Tractor lineup, and again the changes from their last outing in AFC Asian Champions League action. The players going out then up top, replaced by Drozdek, is Strikai. Mehdi Shiri is out in midfield role, and Mehdi Tarabi, who is the man that got the goal for them last time out, is also having to settle for a place on the bench, as Shamrobikov, Drozdek and Regi Lushka, the Albanian, with so much talent, so much flair, coming into this side tonight. It's a tall order for Nasaf. They're up against opposition who are going in search of a 3rd straight victory. Should Tractor achieve that, they would make it the best record currently in this division of this AFC Asian Champions League Elite 2025-26. We're about to get going. This, the first kickoff of match day 5, and they're about to get going at the Markazi Stadium. So Norshayev, who's been reminding us all season long about his ability to score great goals, gets things up and running for a side that has really struggled to find the net. But it's the defensive failings that have been the biggest concern so far in this campaign in AFC Champions League Elite for Nasaf. But a few good early touches of the ball as they settle into what's now a familiar shape for them. Just working across in front of Nematov from left to right. Nazraliev on the left-hand side, the captain, Eshmuradov alongside Alibek Davronov, who'll step inside today to accommodate Shukrat Mohamediev, who's on the right-hand side of defence. As Beronvan gets his first touch and it's just knocked out of play down the right-hand side. Nasaf midfield will be anchored by Mushidinov, and then it's Bakrumov on the right with Nuraliov providing support there. Dragan Cheran will look to prompt from the number 10 position. Norshayev and Adonis Shala will switch really when it comes to moving in from the left-hand side of the attack and occupying a more central position. They're very fluent and fluid in the way that they build up. That one's pumped forward long. No foul, says our Malaysian referee. And an opportunity then to break down the left-hand side. And that ball in. Oh, it's sliced away and fired off the crossbar, is it? Well, the first real shot in anger coming in there. Seriously close there. As it all came from a little overload down the left-hand side there. An opportunity presented itself, and it really was a strong attempt to beat Beronvan early on in the piece. Now just getting back into position there, Eshmuradov, the captain. Back to Nematov, who of course there's no denying his ability as a shot stopper. He really can be someone who can get down well when required. But just a couple of errors of judgment in terms of coming off the line. Struggled to deal with a bouncing ball last time out in that defeat. First part very, very nicely indeed, but unable then to complete the job there. Adonis Shala, who was the player who made that break down the left-hand side, setting up the initial chance very early on, and what an opportunity that would have been for Nasaf to settle their nerves, to try and tell themselves that things are going to go differently tonight. But they've been biting into their tackles and will need to make a few more as we see a first real attack here now for Tractor down the right-hand side in their third kit this evening. And here's an opportunity, edge of the area, hardly cleared. And it's a little bit scrappy at the back from the home side there. Dragan Cheran it was in there battling for the ball here, but it's fallen down the left-hand side to the always dangerous Amir Hussain, prolific goal scorer for this Tractor side, domestically and in regional competition. Cheran, though, did well initially and then gives the ball straight away. So a little bit of to and fro as Halilovic sprays the ball out wide. And then there's a straight battle down the right-hand side there. And he had to be strong, did Davronov. And he was. And they spot a run down the left-hand side, but there is cover as the keeper comes a long way out. Calmness personified. And this game has started at quite a pace. Plenty of endeavour, a couple of mistakes along the way, and it has to be said early on as players just settle in inside the first 5 minutes in Uzbekistan. As far as this Tractor side is concerned, there's a very settled look to the way they line up defensively, with Khalizadeh sitting in the middle there with Alexander Sedlar on the ball just now. Out to the right will be Dani, that's Daniel Ismailifa, and then over on the other side is Sadegh Moharami. But it's in front that we've seen a little bit of chopping and changing. There he is, anchor in the middle of that midfield, Tibor Halilovic. But he's got Amrobakov for company. That's Ismailova who's got down. He can overlap down the left-hand side. Picked out, but just a little bit too on that one. As Drozdek tries to get his side up and running. Glance there at Dragan Skrokic. 57 years old now, and that was that sloppy piece of defending earlier on that saw Berenvan troubled. Just skimming off the crossbar, that early warning there for Tractor that this Nasaf side has come to do what it needs to do, get on the score sheet, both in terms of the match and of course in their account in this group stage. So a little bit of a change up top in terms of what we've seen in recent times for Tractor. The last outing was actually a league loss against Kaiba Kuramampad, 2-1. Haven't played since then. That match was played on the 8th of November. But it's Nasaf that has settled the better at the start, knocking the ball around, looking comfortable. Back all the way to the captain, who's happy to just roll it back to Nematov. And there might just be an opportunity down the right-hand side, but that's very well defended again by Ismailova. And picking up the second ball, but losing the second ball in the middle of the field was Jamrobakov. Before a tidy little passage of play there, Nuruliev it was who just helped them move the ball across. Switch of play to the left-hand side. Shala always happy to drop out to the left-hand side, and he was offering there, looking to hold that left wing whenever possible. But they switch play, comfortably moving it one way than the other, across the halfway line. Eshmuratov's ball was one that looked to pick out the man on the left, but amidst that tangle, the referee says he couldn't obviously penalise the attacker. And it wasn't much to the liking of Hashem Nejad, who felt the full force there of his marker. Ball went out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in then taken. Nazruliev it was who'd got a long way forward there to get involved here. Moharami operating over on the right-hand side of the defence for Tractor this evening. It's nicely flicked in on from the throw and beautifully done for the 1-2. And is the keeper coming? He holds his line, and it was probably the right call because the defence did its job. Nematov has been guilty in previous matches in this competition of coming out and making a mistake, but he made the right call there, holding his ground, and good defensive work in a straight foot race really there. And this is where Tractor have just looked a little bit dangerous. Got men dropping into those pockets of space out wide. That's Hashem Nejad, just sets the ball back. Drozdek is providing the real focal point in the area. Am Hussein's tended to just drop off to the left-hand side. Ismailova clips a lovely little ball up front, but it's going to take some handling. Second ball comes the way once again of Tractor. And there's Amir Hussein spraying the ball out wide. Then he gets his head down, heads into the area. Plenty of yellow shirts there. 4 of them in the box, and it'll fall to the edge. But they make a mess of trying to clear this one, Nasaf, and they can ill afford to do that against a side as dangerous as this. Now, a little bit of sense brought to proceedings by Davronov, but they still haven't cleared their lines. And this really in a nutshell, telling you perhaps why they've conceded as many as 13 goals already in their campaign thus far. Little look in just a moment ago at Dragan Chernan, who's Cheran's such an important part of this side. And the experienced Serbian, the veteran, is really going to have his work cut out here against this Tractor side. That's a lovely little ball just tucked in through the back there, and here's danger now at the back, because through the middle is Amir Hussein looking to get on the end of it, and in the end it's cut out, and anywhere would do there for Shukrat Mukhamadev. Safety first was the key, and that's exactly what the defender provided. And another little glimpse then of the danger that this side poses. They really have got pace up. Lushka looking to break down the right-hand side whenever possible. Amir Hussein so fleet of foot, as we saw already. And now, just a moment of respite as they just get themselves away from the danger area there. That red shirt, that red line at the back steps up from its own area, but they've got some defending to do still. Struggling for clean sheets at the moment. Nasaf couldn't keep one last time out in league action, beaten by a 0-0 in Tashkent by Pakhtakor. And that really has been the problem for them. No solid defensive base to work on. As we've seen already, they've got plenty of ideas going forward. And the patience of the build-up is what's really working for Tractor. They know their shape, they know their roles, and even though they have made a couple of changes tonight, they're settling very well to the task, very well prepared for this one. And probably, one would imagine, mindful of the fact that Nasaf will be a little bit nervy at the back. Beautiful turn away from danger there from Amir Hussein. Such a quality player. First time ball in was a bold move down the right-hand side. But it's still Tractor in possession. They've enjoyed really the best of the last 10 minutes or so in this match, and have started opening up opportunities, asking questions of this Nasaf defense. Halilovic in there, just keeping things ticking. Movement off the ball has been outstanding from the team in yellow. And Amir Hussein does look to be the player that is making them tick from the left-hand side. But a lot's coming down the right. Seeing a lot of Sadegh Mohrami in very advanced position. Just a little bit hefty, the challenge on Jan Robakov there. Just as he kicked through, nothing too sinister about it, just kicked into the attempted block of Nuraliev. And again, a little moment of concern at the back, but the captain tidies up. And that's beautifully done. Cheran it was with the ball, but then just a little heavy on the touch. Allows Tractor's captain, Khalizadeh, to make the challenge. It's going to break the way of the team in yellow once more here. Amir Hussein on the ball. Can't get it through first time, so goes back. And once again, it's the team in yellow looking far the more comfortable. That's beautifully weighted there from Drozdek. Out to the right-hand side. Here's danger, because they're beginning to just encroach into that box once again. Our Tractor. Halilovic out to the right-hand side. Oh, and it's just all the way through. The goalkeeper completely missed it. spoke earlier on about some of the uncertainty we've seen from him in this campaign so far, and there was another example of it there. Communication seemed to be the problem, and you can see it's still going on. The post-mortem there between defender and goalkeeper. And here come Tractor once again. They must be sensing now that there are opportunities for them if they can get the ball into those advanced areas. Just uncertainty really playing on the minds now of this Nasaf defence. But now they can do some attacking of their own. There's a great run down the left-hand side. Here's an opportunity for them. 3 players in the area. Well, they pick out the first defender. That's more encouraging. The fans getting a little bit behind them. Bakramov then trying to make something happen in midfield. But down on the ground goes Regilushka. And the Albanian just buys his side an opportunity to get hold of the ball and start asking questions again. That was just that little follow through then. From Bakramov, and there was that. Look at that. All at sea at the back once again. And how about this for space down the right hand side? Ismaili for Danny's ball in his danger. Oh, it's a beautiful finish. That is such quality. Just mentioned Regilushka, and the Albanian in the 17th minute of the match has curled a shot in. Beautifully worked down the left-hand side where Danny found himself in acres of space, but it still needed some finishing. And boy, oh boy, did Lushka supply that. What a quality finish that is. Questions will be asked about the shape defensively of Nasaf there, because they allowed Tractor in so easily down the left-hand side. And there it was, just a straight run. They'd been sucked in defensively, just 2 centre-halves then looking to control themselves. And then look at the finish. He didn't blast it. Lushka just guided that in with that quality that he has. The ball just sat beautifully for him. And if we get an angle, that's it. From either behind or in front of goal, you're going to see the quality on that strike. So 17 minutes played and a goal to the good for Tractor, who continue about their very merry ways in this competition. So that's a 3rd goal now in this competition, in this AFC Asian Champions League Elite for 2025-26 for Albania's Regilushka. And you will not see a better goal than that. You can pretty confidently expect that. If you do, that's going to be quite something. So a familiar feeling for Nasaf, a setback, a goal conceded. This time around, not really anything that the defence or the goalkeeper could do about that. But again, strategically, the shape was just simply not there. Frustration there for Ceran, who's down complaining. But the Serbian has to really call on all of his 38 years of experience now to try and get this side going again, get some belief spark back into the side. Because on the evidence of what we've seen over the last 10, 15 minutes or so, Tractor are a side that are dangerous, they have goals in them. And they're certainly equipped to score more tonight, you can be sure of that. Just struggling a bit to clear their lines there, a little bit sloppy. And as a result of that, an opportunity over on the far-hand side here. Dennis Shala had dropped out that way. And as a result, the players that have got into the box there are Norchayev, who was in there looking to challenge. And here's an opportunity down the left-hand side, because that is Domagoj Drozdjak on his own. He's got a player back in attendance. Now he sets it to the edge. Is there a second here? Amir Hussein charged down. Ball still not cleared. And the danger's still not cleared because they are flooding forward now. There's Halilovic fancies his chances from range. And then gratefully down to accept that one is Nematov after another scare for Nasaf. Oh, that was an outstanding piece of play there down the left-hand side there from the 29-year-old Croatian Domagoj Grozdjak, who really did just muscle his way past his man. At the other end, an opportunity for Nasaf to try and give their fans something to cheer about. Ceran's ball into the centre, and it was just a little bit sloppy again at the back, this time from Traktor, but they come away once more. And this is where they've looked so dangerous, because they've committed 3 defenders now, and they've got an overlap either side of that central defensive position. But they get the red shirts back now to Nasaf and look to try and get into some semblance of shape. Halilovic picks a pass again. They're just finding pockets of space here. Traktor, a little bit of time on the ball, maybe more than they really should be getting from Nasaf, because when they have that time on the ball and can pick a pass, they've shown how dangerous they can be. Shala once again, the lone striker, looking to make something happen up top. But that will come back to Alireza Biranvand, who's been pretty much a spectator since that opening couple of minutes when he saw the ball blasted over his head and just skimming the crossbar. A little bit of a shock early on, but that's the closest Nasaf have come, and they give the ball away. The crowd not entirely delighted with that. And then thundering down the right. Is he onside? Flag stayed down, and the ball fired in. But now it's raised. Once the shot was taken, Grozdjak it was, just questioning the timing of that. Clearly looked as if he was offside in real time. And then a take and then a shot, but the flag raised after the shot taken. But the real concern here for Ruziko Berdiev, the Nasaf manager, has to be that there are holes opening up, particularly out wide for his side defensively, that Traktor are looking to exploit. Meanwhile, out wide at the other end of the pitch, unable to get on the end of that one, is Nurulyev. They've played really in fits and starts in an attacking sense. Nasaf, as Traktor look to work it out down the side. Again, good work. Grozdjak it was in there challenging, and as soon as that happens, you know where it's going. Out to the right-hand side once again. We've seen so much great work by Sadek Mohrami out there. And can he get a ball in? It's cannoned off the defender and behind for a corner. That was Davronov who did what he had to do positionally, but that could have gone anywhere off him. We are seeing so much down that right-hand side from this Traktor side. They really are very, very dangerous. And Hashem Najad has been piling forward whenever he can. So, corner time, and 3 in a row on the edge of the area. The captain among them. There's an opportunity, brilliantly headed backwards that. To the edge of the area though, and there are players out wide if they can pick them out. That's the smart play there. And again, a ball in, again well headed away initially, and completing the clearance. Or unable to do so because Amir Hussein is in with a chance on the edge of the area, crowded out. And this really is poor from Nasaf because they just can't clear their lines. And that really will be their undoing again if they're not careful. Time and time again they had the chance to clear there, but time and time again they presented the ball to the opposition before Danny was the one that just sliced that shot wide from range. Mukhamidiev's ball forward for Ceran. He was out-muscled, but gets the ball back fortuitously. Nicely done from Mushitinov, who really pulls the strings from deep in midfield. And the keeper's going to come for that one. Bounced off the defender, who didn't know anything about it. And they really were in a little bit of trouble at the back there, Tractor, from a seemingly innocuous ball in. Bayern Van hasn't had much to do. He came for that ball, got nowhere near it, and it struck the defender. So again, just a glimmer of opportunity. Has to be said, the two clearest chances for Nasaf so far, but both come from errors at the back, really, from Tractor. Well, they have to build from somewhere. Just trying to get a touch of the ball here, trying to make something work. Nasaf. Shalah's been involved in a lot over on that left-hand side, as they just switch it to the right now, eventually finding its way there to Mohammadiev. Nuruliev in field. That's a nice little run. Mushidinov again, the player who just keeps things ticking over, moving through midfield. And they may not be achieving too much in terms of offensive play, but it's a neat little passage of play here for Nasaf, just managing to take a little bit of the sting out of the game. And also really just to halt the momentum, the impetus that we'd seen this Tractor side put together. Beautifully done then again by the Croatian striker. It's been an impressive outing from Domagoj Drozdek so far. But again, Nuruliev is the player that is providing a little bit of spark over on the right-hand side here. There he goes again, nicely past one. Then threads the ball in nicely to Cheran, who sets it up. This is better from Nasaf. Is there anything at the end of it? No, because it's a giveaway and it's a straight race for the ball, but no major harm done. Mushidinov again. That's nicely done. Cheran with the turn. Can he get away from his man? Just about does there. Dragan Cheran with a couple of nice touches over the last couple of minutes. He's playing with the back to goal quite a lot up there, trying to provide some kind of a target. Out they come again. That's nicely done. Nuruliev, he's taken out late there, is he? Play on, says the referee, because there's half a chance here for Nasaf, and it's a block. And it's Shalah who keep the ball alive over on the far side. Now, is there quality on the delivery? There is, you know, and that's a chance, well headed clear. Oh, and then a beautiful burst again down the right-hand side from Hashem Najad, but just gives the ball away. Well, that's as good as we've seen from Nasaf there in terms of patient build-up from one side to the other. It was a heavy challenge that went unpunished in the end on Nuruliev, or at least unpunished as yet, just a little bit late, but it did lead to that dangerous ball into the area. So just a couple of moments of encouragement here for the Uzbekistan side, who now have to defend though, because that giveaway means that there's danger once more out to the right-hand side. Drozdek, can he get a shot away? Well, again, it was that man, Lushka, who's already shown us his quality. When the goal came, Regi Lushka scored with his left foot with an absolute beauty. Just tried to manufacture something with the right there. But they are so dangerous, those attackers, as this Nasaf defense will attest to. That was that heavy challenge that saw the advantage played, and then when this ball came in, it just spun up off the defender's boot and away from danger. But the danger's at the other end again now for Abdulvakir Nematov in his defense. Halilovic with the signal, with the right foot, with the away swinger. It's headed up and not necessarily clear. Two number 7s doing battle. Shala back with the challenge. All the way back to Beranvand. And nice angles as they just play the ball out from that back position. And away he goes once again. Look at the pace they have down the right-hand side here. Hashem Najad, ball in. And his link-up play with Mohrami has been superb. Taking it in turns to burst down the side there. But now, Halilovic fancies a shot from range. It's scuffed away off the defender. Just took a little deflection. And they've obviously been encouraged to take their chances from distance. Have a little look at Nematov in that goal for Nasaf. And we've seen some long-range shooting at times from this Tractor side. Once again, acres of space in the middle of the field for Tibor Halilovic there. But that's a little bit sloppy from the goalkeeper. No harm done. We're beyond the half-hour mark now, and it's been a match which maybe is following a pattern that you would have expected based on form in this competition. The side that has yet to be beaten, the side that's sitting in 4th in this league in the West, is the side that leads by a 0-0 against a team which is yet to pick up a single point after 4 match days and now into a 5th, of course, here in this competition, this elite continental competition. These sides with so much to celebrate in terms of recent title success, a historic first for Tractor. Such a hugely well-supported side as well. Incredible scenes when they were to go on to be crowned champions. Just a little slip of the touch there from Halilovic, but it's tidied up beautifully from Hamir Hussein. As the flag stayed down here, Drozdek has gone forward once again. He might just shoot from here, you know, he's got an opening and he has another half chance, but in the end the flag was eventually raised when he became involved in that passage of play. But again, the Croatian is really showing his ability. He's made runs out wide, he's shown a lot of pace getting in behind, and clearly has an appetite for goal as well. Lushka leading the way in terms of goals scored in this season's competition, Otherwise, we've seen goals from Tarabi, Hashem Najad. Strikai is on the bench today. He's also scored in this competition. But it's Nasaf now trying to find a way back into this one, trying to find something before half-time to give them belief that they can go on and at the very least pick up a point for the first time in this season's competition. But they need to find a way through this Tractor defence if they are to do so. Shown a couple of opportunities early on by mistakes from the men in yellow. They've created one subsequently. Can they do more? But maybe more pertinently, can they keep this side out? Particularly this rampant right side for Tractor. Yeah, once again, arriving a little bit late there was Mohrami with the overlap, but no harm done. It's still with them. Sham Rubakov, it was in there tidying up, and now they look to come to the left-hand side. Danny's cushion ball in field. Nice first-time ball there from Hamir Hussein. Danny once again, but his touch was more than cushioned. That was hammered. Heavy touch. No harm done, because out to the right they go once more. This time they don't go down the right, and this time they go for the head of Drozdek, and it was a good header falling away from the ball. He got a lot on that, surprisingly. but didn't surprise Nematov. Now down the other end, Shala looking to make something happen. He cuts in on the left, goes to the byline, goes down under the challenge, and the referee's got a decision to make here. Well, it should be a fairly straightforward one to make there, because there was no attempt from Alexander Sedlar to do anything other than stop his man there. That was the chance at the other end, and Nematov was alive to the So this is a free kick in a position of some danger, just outside the area after that clumsy foul, that cynical foul from Sedlar. Can they make something of this opportunity? Murzidinov over the ball. His left foot. 6 red shirts in the area. And he goes for Sharan, and Sharan's effort is a good one. Just pulled away from his marker. And Sharan there, great idea. He'll feel he maybe could have got a bit more on the strike, but difficult technique going away from goal. And the goalkeeper, as good as Berenvan, was alive and alert to that threat there. But that's better from this Nasaf side, who now have to do some defending, because down the left comes Amir Hussain once again. He's been such a live wire. Halilovic tidying up. Safety first from Sedlar this time, all the way back to the keeper. Takes a touch. Always happy to try and play it out if they can. And thus far, it's worked for them. Did well then defensively, just to keep his eye on the ball. Eshmuradov highly experienced. This was that little opportunity there. Decent connection. Bending away from the keeper. Had his positioning not been as good as it was, that could have caused problems. Nicely worked, that free kick. Oh, and a lovely ball from Murzidinov again out to the left-hand side. Is there to be something for the home side? Is there something for the home fans to cheer about? Seen plenty of balls in from the left in this match, but that wasn't the best of touches. And now an opportunity for the side of yellow to break, and danger here because Amir Hussain is getting his head down and chasing after that. But there was good defensive cover. Now Nematov happy to just push the ball out into the middle of the park. Chera on the ball. Can he find the man on the left-hand side? That was the run. It was telegraphed really by the number 10. Oh, they've shut the door. There's no way back to Berenvan here, so nice little press there from Nasaf, who have recognised the urgency of their situation and have just turned it up a little bit as we come towards half-time, looking to get themselves back into this match. th minute of the match here at the Markazi Stadium, where they've been entertained, I think it's fair to say so far. There's been plenty of chances for both sides. We've seen a wonder goal scored already by the visitors. Not exactly what the home fans came to see tonight, but we have seen some quality on show, particularly from this. Tractor have looked dangerous every time they come forward, and there's Amir Hussain again causing trouble. Brilliantly done by the number 99. And are they going to finish with a flurry? You feel if they were to grab a second before the break, Tractor might prove to be a side that can't be caught in this match anyway. as it stands, if it was to stay this way, that would be enough to take Tractor into second place in Group B, take them within a point of the leaders Al Hilal. Obviously, plenty more matches still to come on match day 5, but that's what they would be aiming for, just further consolidating their very, very strong position in terms of qualification for the next round. And of course, should it stay this way, well, Nasaf's already faint hopes would be dealt a blow with just the 3 match days to go following this one. Again, lovely little touch and move inside then from Amir Hussain, and nicely down the right hand side once again. Such a thorn in their side, that dual threat of Moharami and Hashem Najad. It has really occupied that Nasaf defence on a regular basis, the threat from the right hand side, from their left. And as a result of that, they've been dragged all over the place defensively. Just a little then on the ankle there. Nothing really sinister or intentional, you feel, from Adonis Shala. But it was enough to just disrupt the movement there of Regilushka, scorer of that beautiful goal inside 17 minutes that has separated these two sides. So quite clearly the side from the Islamic Republic of Iran would be more than happy to take this scoreline into the break, but they're going to have to not be quite as slack as this. Not take anything for granted, because that was sloppy at the back and it might just invite Nasaf forward. Sheran flicks it on. He did so well to get down on his hands and knees there, the number 10, and get something on the ball. And there'll be a little bit of frustration, really, you feel, I would imagine, from Dragan Skokic, that his side has been just a little bit sloppy. You saw him prowling the touchline, where you just saw his opposite number, Ruziko Bediev, there, and he'll be hoping that there is a little gift for his side just before half-time. Just something that can get them back into this match. And should they score, it might just change the complexion of things. But right now, they've got some defending to do again. This time they come inside. Hashem Najad is always hugging that touchline, looking to make something happen. And the home fans just a little frustrated now. They need their side to get hold of the football, which they're not doing, because they're not allowed to. And professional standards being demonstrated here. Look at the space in midfield there for another yellow-shirted player, and then look at the commitment we've seen there from the excellent Domagoj Drozdiak, really justifying his selection from the start in this match. Sloppy in terms of the ball out, and it's going to invite another attack. Halilovic, it's all a little bit tight through the middle really right now, but there's the opportunity to just try and release a player. Danny just found himself closed down, but they won't mind this at all, Tractor. They're playing where they want to play, playing in the opposition half in the final minute of regulation time in this first half, one that they've been the better side in, it's fair to say. They've brought their form from this competition into a 5th match day. They have the lead. They're on course to second place in the standings. And all the problems lie with the side managed by Ruziko Bediev. It's a nice little step inside here. Ismailov has enjoyed a little foray upfield towards the end of this first half. Now he's had to get his head down and thunder back into position. Is there time for a last flurry, a last chance, a last opportunity to level things up here in Kashi for the home side. Only 1 minute of time added on. But there's another ball in and another opportunity for Cheran to cause trouble. Using his height to his advantage there, but unable to find a way through to create a chance. Seconds remaining then. And the number 10, we thought he should have been given a free kick, but wasn't. Ball's won back again. Is there to be one last opportunity here? Bakramov come a long way across, trying to make something happen there, and in the end, rather frustrated as it runs out of play. That might just be that in a first half, which initially was characterised by one or two sloppy pieces of defending, a mistake or two, and then Tractor, the class act in this competition, got themselves into gear, as it were, found their shape, found their pattern of play, and looked dangerous going forward. And then when the goal finally came, it was a wondrous goal, beautifully made down the left-hand side, to the frustration of this side, as that man, Regi Lushka, steered a shot in from the edge of the area with his left foot to put his side in front, on course for second place, but for the time being on their way into the dressing rooms at half-time in this very important matchday 5 encounter for both sides. Both different agendas, of course, on the table here, but at half-time it's one that favours the visitors, because the half-time scoreline is Nasaf 0, Tractor 1. So it's been a difficult outing already in this AFC Asian Champions League Elite 2025-26 for Nasaf. And the Uzbekistan side take to the field once again, finding themselves behind, winless and pointless so far in this competition. They're up against a Tractor side who've come here full of form, full of swagger, seeking a third straight victory, which, if they should secure it, would mean they have the best form of any side right now in this West Asian group stage of this elite tier competition. They lead by a goal to nil, given them by that man, the Albanian with the magical left foot, Regilushya. His strike on 17 minutes separating these two sides, and all the pressure then on the home side to deliver, to stay alive, to keep their hopes alive. But they've got to get past Alireza Beranvand, which could prove a lot harder to say than to do. So getting us underway then, our referee Mohammed Mazharuddin from Malaysia, and as he does so, the onus very much on the home side to try and make a change or two. Defensively, they were exposed on a regular basis in that first half by the team in yellow, by the visitors, to the Markazi Stadium here in Kashi in Uzbekistan. And as much as anything, they were struggling to cope really with the threat that you're going to see down at the bottom of your screens on the right-hand side in this second half from Tractor. That's a little bit sloppy at the start though, and that's a nasty-looking clip of the right ankle there. It's Adenishala who's gone down under the challenge, and it was just a little bit late. Caught a little bit out by a mistake made defensively by Tractor then, and they very nearly were made to pay for it. Once again, the man with the quality on that left foot is Sharaf Mukhsidinov. Bent a couple of really dangerous balls in the first half, and how he would dearly love to get this second half started with a goal. Picks out a target, bends one in, but doesn't really get much on it. And in the end, it's only half cleared before Amr Hussain came away with the ball, and then the one man back is able to deal with the threat. So a bright start this, and there's a little bit of room as well there. Sheran through the middle. Half a chance then for Mujahidinov, who'd continued his run forward. And then once again, that powerful running out from the back. That really is something, again, from Moharami, who played it then into Hashem Najad. And here is the man who has come so close to scoring several times now, but denied again. Drozdek there. Took the right option, hit the target, and that's all he ever looked to do. And in the end, Nematov saving with his legs. And that just goes to show how quickly they can turn defence into attack. Tractor then looked up, didn't have a lot of options in the middle, made the right choice, hit the target, asked the question of the goalkeeper, who was equal to the challenge. But it's now, very early on in this, a third corner of the match for Tractor. Wasn't the best we've seen delivered from Tibor Halilovic. Comfortably cleared. And there is Beranvand, who lofts a ball forward, looking to just try and keep the threat alive. So if you're just joining us for the second half of this one, the context obviously is the team in yellow starting the day in 4th place in the standings. With the lead they possess right now as it stands, that's enough to send them up to 2nd at the start of this 5th match day. But the team at the very foot of the table, anchored to the bottom of the table with not a single point so far, well, they need to turn this around if they're not going to continue to occupy that position in terms of selection, they did make changes from their previous continental outings coming into this one. There were a couple of changes made for Nasaf, who brought in Mukham Shamidiev and Nuraloyev, who's been very good. Two positive changes, it must be said. And they have certainly started this half with far more attacking intent than we saw in the early stages of the first. On the front foot, pushing Tractor back. And is what they must do, really. There's Davronov, who has stepped into the centre of that defence this evening. Mushadinov prompting from midfield once again. And Nazrulayev looks as if he's got a little bit more licence to get forward down the left-hand side at the start of this one, the number 34 at the bottom of your screen. But they go the other way. Nice feet. Here's an opportunity. Sheran with the setup. Player goes tumbling. Referee says no foul. And again, no foul. Just good use of the body defensively there from Mohrami. And again, just a little bit of a rush at the back there for the experienced Umar Bekesh Muradov, the captain, who tidies things up. But the signs are rather more promising. That's lovely, that from Adonis Shala. Gets away from his man. He's got someone out to his left. Just had to put the brakes on a little bit. But there's Sheran. Is he going to shoot from range? No, clips it wide. This is the danger. But across to cover. Effectively there was the Tractor defence. Hasn't always got it on target, but Shukrab Nuriev has looked dangerous when he's been involved here. That was the challenge that they had a question or two about. Sent tumbling to the ground there was Nuruliev. The referee was very well placed to make a call on it, and there's no further action taken. Here's danger though, because suddenly they got themselves outnumbered at the back. And in the end, it took an excellent piece of recovery to get out of that spot. Shala showed too much of the ball. But you can see the intent is there from Ruziko Beriev's side. He has sent them out to really do something about this situation, really get the crowd galvanized. As you can hear, the crowd are willing Nasaf on to do something. Give them something to cheer in this elite level competition. Well, that's nicely clipped again, looking almost inevitably for Shala down the left. He's such a live wire. And again, they're winning many more of the 50-50s, looking far more convincing in terms of the physical duels. Bakramov has been hugging the right-hand side. But a lot has come down the left at the start of this half. No foul. Shala went to ground. And at the moment, it's the visitors who are having to soak up the pressure. Sheran there winning the physical battle and sends it out wide, but there are two defenders in attendance and two pacey ones at that for Adonis Shala. Again, the referee happy to let play go on. Not entirely to the liking of the home support, but away they come once more. Now it's Nasaf hunting it back. Sheran is angry and he has something to say about that. Probably goes back to the earlier challenge and the earlier decision by the referee, but the 38-year-old has to be a little bit careful there, taking matters into young Tibor Halilovic, number 7, just keeping things ticking over for the side in yellow. And the Croatian, he's 30 years old now. There he is on the ball once again, full of experience. Great continuity player. Keeps his side on the front foot. And there's an opportunity. A ball just lifted over the top, onside. And Nematov decides to take a touch, take it wide, and get a bit of purchase on his clearance over the halfway line. Well, it's fascinatingly poised, this one now, because Tractor haven't come the first 10 minutes and added to their advantage. They haven't even really had the better of the balance of chances. It's the home side, Nasaf, who've forced the running rather, but nothing to show for it as yet. They need to keep believing. Neither side has made a change as yet. We'll just keep an eye on proceedings in that regard. Again, nicely done, tidy from Bakrumov then, just prompting from midfield. He's enjoyed a good campaign, the number 24, Sardor Bakrumov. Scored 2 of the 5 goals that they've scored in this competition. Norshayev has 2 of them, and Abdurakhmatov, who didn't start today, has also found the target. Corner goes wide. Danger not cleared though, and it's clipped back in, but no one at the far post. But again, indicative of the ambition in this side right now. Nuruloyev it was over on the far side who couldn't quite come up with the answer. And just on cue, we do see changes, 2 of them to be made. So the changes coming for the home side. And we are going to see the arrival of Stefan Kolovic, who actually started their last outing, and Diobek Abdunazarov. We've seen a lot of the ball at his feet at the start of this second half as Nematov, who's had a solid outing this time, has had, as I said at the start, just as I say that and loses his footing, has had a couple of wobbles, it must be said, in this competition thus far. But he could not be faulted for the goal, the brilliant goal scored by Redi Lushkia in the first half that separates these 2 sides. Well, that's going to go out of play and probably allow the substitutions to be made now. So those are the changes then. Cholovic, who typically would operate on the right side of that defence, replacing Sukrub Nuruloyev, who's had an in and out kind of match, shown a few flashes, flair, made a few mistakes along the way. So the question now is, what will the opposite number do? What will we see from Dragan Skokic? If anything at all, he might be happy enough with what he's got out there for now. It's obviously really incumbent upon Ruzkul Berdiev to switch things up for Nasaf, to try and force the change if he possibly can. Oh, the crowd not entirely happy with the amount of time that Alireza Berenvand was taking there. Just a little urge or 2 for him to hurry things along a bit. Well, straight away we saw an impact there. And here's a chance for Cheran. Can he get in from the angle? Oh, he just goes wide. Ball still in play, though. Half cleared. Now the opportunity. Cholovic kept it alive. Still not cleared. Cholovic once again on the right-hand side. The substitute with an immediate impact here after Cheran came so close. And that really wasn't far away. An almost impossible-looking angle there for the number 10. And here's a chance too. Shala sent to the byline. Oh, lovely turn. Can he get a ball in from here? Just to the edge of the area. And well, the attack hasn't totally died. They've just lost a little bit of momentum right now, Nasaf. But that was close. That was enough to get the crowd excited. Just on the hour mark now. And the Uzbekistan side sensing that maybe that elusive goal is somewhere nearby. Shala once again. Again, it's clipped in looking for Cheran, but this time it came off the defender. And suddenly it's Tractor that are looking a little bit stretched at the back. We're seeing a lot of good stuff from Shehzad Nasrullayev, the number 34, getting balls in on a regular basis from the left. So, just a word or two from Khalilzadeh, the captain there. Well, this is where it all started. And it was Bakrumov who got in there and made a nuisance of himself. Lovely feet here from the veteran. And what a little clip and a chip that was. Almost an impossible angle. That was the reason that we saw the Tractor captain complaining. The referee had allowed play to go on. And then from that angle, he did perfectly in terms of lifting it over the keeper. But just couldn't get it to drift in at the far post there, Cheran. Well, the referee was very well placed, made his decision, made it very clearly. And that's as close as they've come to scoring in this match. And again, quickest to the ball there, a red-shirted player. Mujahidinov it was. And here's danger again. Can they pick out Cheran? Can't quite make it. There's a chance! Oh, and it's just too close to the goalkeeper. This really feels as if it's coming now. Mujahidinov, it was with that somewhat tame effort, just curled into the grateful arms there of Berenvand. But we're seeing a lot of opportunities come the way now of Nasaf. Cholovic over on that far post causing trouble. Just a little bit wider, a little bit further away from the keeper, and that really would have been trouble. So we've seen one of the substitutes making an impact, just waiting to see Abdunazarov and see what kind of an impact he's going to have on this match. Oh, down goes Cheran, and once again he is imploring the referee to take some serious action. Interestingly enough, towards the end of the first half, we saw a very cynical challenge from Alexander Sedler, and he didn't actually get a yellow card for it. Now a moment of respite for Tractor as they try and build something down the left-hand side. Haven't seen much of them in an attacking sense, but we know how dangerous they can be. Especially that man, Amr Hossein, just putting the ball wide. Speculative from distance. He was a superb figure in the first half. As much in creative ways as he was in terms of getting attempts in on goal. We've seen a lot from Cholovic already at the start of this half. And again, they come through the middle, and that time it's a shot that didn't really cause too much trouble. But it was notable that we've seen this side backpedaling Tractor really for the first time in this match, as this talented youngster, the 20-year-old Sador Bakhramov, they have great high hopes for this young man, who had the shot there, and then it's again well defended. Shala looking to get something going on the edge of the area, stabbed wide. Cholovic can't keep it down. But a very different complexion over the first, 20 minutes or so of this second half now. And you get the sense that Nasaf are very much in this match right now, but they need the breakthrough. They've come so close, as we may well be on the verge of seeing a change made by Dragan Skokic, who must be a little bit concerned at the way that his side has surrendered quite as many chances as they have at the start of this second half, to a side that really didn't create anything in the first. The shot count at half-time was 8-4 in favour of Tractor, which probably was a fair reflection on the half. Bayron Van, nice ball out to the right-hand side, but not much more that Moharami could have done than that. And we haven't really seen anything like those forays down the right from Moharami and Hashemnejad that were a feature of the first half for Tractor, because they've really had a lot of defending to do. Now there's an opportunity. Just breaking down the right-hand side. Regi Lushkia getting the shout from midfield, and finally they do manage to open things up here. Halilovic goes one man further, and they're a bit stretched again at the back, Nasaf, right now. Chance for the shot. Amir Hussain just wide. Flashed wide of the post. And that's the threat he poses. That wasn't far away. Keeper at full stretch. And the man who's such a prolific goal scorer domestically and on the continent, coming close there. So it is to be the end of the road for the match. 17th minute strike separates these sides. Regi Lushkia, the Albanian, is off and stepping on. Just the one substitution made, so no substantial change tactically, you feel, for this team in the eyes of Dragan Skokic. Mehdi Torabi, of course, goal scorer last time out for them. And this is really what Nasaf could do without. They built up a head of steam, built up some momentum in this match, and need to keep that going. But it just looks now as if Tractor are happy to just play a little bit in their half, keep a hold of the ball, take the sting out of proceedings, maybe take the crowd out of proceedings a bit as well. It's a lovely little ball in from the right. But an opportunity instead for the team in red to build. Beautifully done. And spectacularly intercepted. So Mehdi Shiri is the player. You can just see in the centre of your picture there, just been sent on to bring a little bit of control to things, maybe in those midfield areas, maybe defensively. 34 years old, the number 2. And an obvious response to an area that's been some problem in this second half for Tractor. Just the left side of midfield, where we've seen these attacks coming down the left-hand side of the Nasaf team. And there's Mehdi Shiri. You can just see him looking to get involved in that right-back position he's occupied right now. Looking to shore things up a bit defensively for Tractor. Now, no need to worry about them on this side of the pitch, because they are pouring forward. And through the middle there was Drozdiak, who might just make it to this one. Shoulder to shoulder, no foul, and he's going to get into the area. Now he can get a ball in. The Croatian is such a physical handful, and he was too much really there for Nazarbayev to cope with. Domagoj Drozdiak, really impressive outing tonight, and he's continuing to ask questions. So it's once again an opportunity. A corner from the right hand side. The last one wasn't the best from Tibor Halilovic. This time he goes a lot deeper, and there's a man up, and it's into the hands of Nematov, and he was grateful that he occupied the right place and was able to deal with that one. It was the captain, Shojay Kaliladze, who got the header and just needed either more power or a different direction to really cause a problem from that far out. But again, a threat, just a little rap on the knuckles, a warning there for Nasaf about the danger this tractor side possesses. It's still only 1-0 though, so there's still a way back into this for the home side. You can see the bodies down there. Look at that, the way they crowded out the threats on the left here. Oh, well, he never had an eye on the ball at all there in terms of his defensive work. Alibak Davronov only had eyes for his man, and you can understand now really why there's a little bit of frustration from the benches in particular. Go back and have a look at that again. He was very mindful that Hashemnejad has a lot of pace, and as he looked to try and break away, the number 2 really was more concerned with stopping the number 20 than perhaps anything else. The referee didn't see anything particularly untoward, but there is a card out by the looks of things. Davronov is pleading his innocence here, but as you can see, here's that challenge. As you can see, he really just ran across to try and block his man off. No eye on the ball, no attempt to play the ball there quite clearly. And you can see that Dragan Skokic was clearly of the opinion that that needed to be punished. And what is remarkable is that there was no foul given for that, no free kick given, and as a result, when things did spiral out of control, it looks as if now it's going to be just a drop ball. Taking advantage of that interruption for another change. And it's been an excellent outing for Sharof Moksidinov, but he's replaced. And it's Javokir Sidikov who's on. 28-year-old central midfielder Sidikov, who can play in a more advanced role if required. But right now, the focus is on defending. It's been a much harder second half for Tractor, this one. They've struggled at times to get out of their own half, haven't played with the same fluency, but then to the credit of Nasaf, they haven't allowed them really to play. Confirmation that there was a yellow card shown for Alibek Davronov in the wake of that challenge. And Halilovic just tucks in behind here, but it's behind Amir Hussein, and that's to the relief of this Nasaf side, and the fans cheer them on as they try and break, but without any great pace. they able to find any kind of way through here? Closest they've come came from the veteran number 10, Dragan Ceran, just lifting a shot over the keeper, just wide of the post from an acute angle. There was a shot that glanced off the crossbar as early as the 2nd minute of the match. But other than that, they haven't come that close. That's a lovely ball out. If he can keep it in play, and he does just about do so. Nasrullah it was who'd got forward. There's the captain, pushing a long way forward. Shala, lovely ball into space. Great appreciation of the run there. Cholovic, too close to the keeper, drops it, but no harm done. Oh, that's a gesture that tells you all you need to know there. As Hashem Najad is on the ground once again, feeling the effects of a heavy challenge. Nasrullah it was making that challenge. Oh, beautifully done. Pass one down the left-hand side and looking to play in Amir Hussain once again. And that Nasaf defence just about gets the job done. Nasrullah came across to sweep. It's a fascinating dynamic to this match now, as Tractor themselves are aware that they've got a lot of work to put in here, because Nasaf are coming at them again. They've thrown on a couple of players capable of just offering a little bit more of a presence. There's Sidikov, you can see number 9 there, just drifting into a little bit of space in the centre of the pitch. Cholovic's ball in was speculative, but then it comes in again. And there really is much more of a press now from this side. Abdunazarov is the player who's really occupying the right-hand side in the second half substitute. Just about all of them now in the opposition half, apart from the goalkeeper. A measure of how Tractor have been forced back, but that's a sloppy ball. That's a giveaway, and they can ill afford that against this side. But they've given the ball away themselves. Cholovic looking to make something happen. Wants to get it on the right foot if he can, and he's still going. Can he get a cross in? Only just. Still alive though. Scooped up for a chance here, and it's buried just wide of the post. For a moment there, his eyes lit up, and Adenis Shala must have thought he was going to pull his side level there. Manufactured that really from nothing, and in the end it wasn't Shala who got the shot. It was the man who drifted in from that left-sided attacking position there, who just pulled it wide. And we've seen so much really good attacking play from that left side, from Nasrullah and company. That's, you feel where it's going to come from if it's going to happen. There's no denying that we've seen a real impact made by Cholovic, who's brought real energy to proceedings. Nicely done, Sidikov. Neat feet in the middle. Can they just get a little bit of space for a cross? Now galloping down the right hand side. Looks as if they get the substitute, Abdunazarov there, who got his cross blocked before we see again. This time it's Ceran getting in there. Was that a foul? No, says the referee. Intercepted. So now it's away. Tractor trying to break. But they haven't had the same fluency in this half as we saw in the first to their attacks. Lovely reverse pass down the right-hand side. But there was no way through there for Mohrami. These are really big moments you feel in this match right now. Another goal for Tractor. Well, that would surely shut the door on this one. That would be it. But as long as it's just 1-0, then there will be hope for Nasaf here. Sidikov turns and looks to go the other way. Ten minutes to go, plus whatever time is added on. Just looking ahead to what's next. For Nasaf, it would be the fearsome threat to take on Saudi Pro League champions Al Ittihad away on the 23rd, 24th of December, which is the 6th match day. And on that match day, that round of fixtures, then it's Al Duhail for Tractor. Will they find themselves in an even stronger position going into that one than they are now? Will they find themselves with 3 wins and 2 draws to their name? That's on the cards, unless Nasaf can come up with something towards the end of this match. Now, speaking of that schedule, after that match day 6, there is a little break to the middle of February. Action resumes again in this group stage. Referee again has decided not to blow up, allowed play go on. He's been consistent in that regard, really has tried not to stop the flow of play. It's caused a little bit of frustration amongst the players at times, but the game is flowing as a result. Sidikov can't quite find their way through this massive yellow defensive shirts at the moment, Nasaf, but they're giving it a go. It's all hands to the pump. Nasrulayev then looking to make something happen. He's put in a real shift in this second half. He's been an offensive threat. He's covered back. He's trapped those very, very athletic right-sided players for Tractor. Really has put in an excellent shift. That was the challenge that the referee deemed permissible in terms of allowing play to flow on. Nicely turned around the corner. Cholovic, is he going to go on his own here? He gets the shot away, but from that range, you don't get it past the keeper of Ali Reza Beranvan's quality. Oh, and again, he's off on a run here. Hashem Najad it was who's got the run started to spark an attack here. There's a shot, and it's just wide. That might have been curtains there had Domagoj Drozdiak been able to find the target. Here comes a goal scorer, scored in their last outing in this competition, Mehdi Torabi. He scored against Al Shota, and he's coming on to just keep that attacking threat alive for a side that came so close to a second, and what surely would have been a match winner there. Well, he's had an excellent outing, he really has, Tibor Halilovic. Pulled the strings in midfield, kept things ticking over, particularly in that first half when he got his side on the front foot. Little slip defensively. Here's trouble all the way through is Hashem Najad. Can he finish it? No, he just drags it wide. With Drozdiak in attendance. A player whose running has really been impressive. Just couldn't find the finish to match it. But there are going to be chances. And Nasaf are going to have to recognise that the more they push forward towards the end of this one in search of an equaliser, the more they might leave themselves exposed. And in truth, the best chances of the last couple of minutes have come the way of the away side on the break. Sharon's working very hard, the veteran there, still looking to try and link things up. But that was a little bit sloppy from the captain. Maybe some fatigue setting in here, as Eshmuradov and company now need to get their heads down and defend. Mehdi Tarabi with his first real engagement. And Tractor doing what they need to do right now, which is to keep hold of the ball, keep some possession, run the clock down, and of course invite the opposition to come at them, leaving those gaps that these pacey Tractor players can try and move into. That was just a little slip off the side of the boot there of Sadek Mohrami, as we see another double change being made. Golban and Otubanjo coming on. So another forward in the shape of Yusuf Otubanjo and a defender in Igor Golban. Shala, one of the players who makes way. And this is the danger, but Nazarbayev was alive to it once again. He really has covered back very, very well. Cut in field then from his left-sided position. And now they desperately need the ball back, the team in red. Cholovic ensures they do that, but they've got to play from within their own half with time fast running out now. Nicely done from Cholovic, who's really injected play this side. He came short, got the ball there. Otubanjo for the first time thought about the shot. Sheran plays it through. Here's the chance, and they were just crowded out. It was Cholovic who'd continued his run into the area, but he had 2, maybe 3 yellow shirts for company, and between them they did just enough to snuff out the danger at the expense of a corner. So the crowd given belief now, renewed belief that maybe they will go home with something to celebrate here. Sidikov to take the corner. Has to be some quality on this delivery. A little warning for Sidikov. He needs to get on with the game at this point. And the referee has his say, and on they go. Is there to be something for Otubanjo and company to celebrate? He's on the goalkeeper. Are we going to see one under that crossbar? Yes, we are. Slung in. And it's half cleared again. But we'll come back in once more. Otubanjo sets the ball up. Sidikov. Out once again to the number 20, the substitute. Looks to provide a trick or two, but can't get through his markers. Now his danger, because there's a runner down the right-hand side. Hashem Nejad, who's caused so much trouble there, waiting for the help to arrive. And he's going to go on his own, is he? And he keeps hold of the ball. And in the end, ran out of ideas and options. But we're in the last minute of regulation time here in the Markazi Stadium, where there is still some belief, albeit slender, that the home side can open their account in this competition. Because as it stands, it's going to be another AFC Champions League Elite win for Tractor the side from the Islamic Republic of Iran, who have put together such a great run in this competition. It would be a third straight win for them. That would make them the form team in this competition. And it would just about be the end of the road then for their opponents from Uzbekistan. Opportunity now to just eat up a little bit of time, but understandably, as that was a little stamp on the foot of Alexander Sedler there. 3 minutes, as you can see, of additional time to be played in this one. And how fitting was it that it should be the galloping number 20, Mehdi Hashemnejad, who almost produced another defining moment in this match. Really has been outstanding down that right side for Tractor. Just caught standing and ball watching there, though. And there are some tired legs out there, you can be sure of that, but the endeavour continues. Throwing himself into that one was Golbat. Well, it hasn't all gone his way in the second half, Dragan Skokic. He'll have been delighted with the way the first half panned out. They led by one, it could have been more, but his side has had to work so hard, and maybe he will be pleased with that. Maybe he'll feel that this is as rewarding as anything, the defensive effort they've put in. But remember, Tractor were on the back foot in their last match. Can they finish on the front foot here, though? Well saved, Mermatov. Did what he needed to, and then Sidikov completes the job. So is this to be a chance? Cholovic down the right-hand side. Look at those yellow shirts hammering back into defence. 2 players up. Sharon can't control. But there are acres of space in the middle of the pitch now. Is there a chance? Trying to get involved again there was Otubanjo. And he might just get the ball again now, but it's all very tight. And in the end, the experience of Alexander Sedler helps Tractor out of trouble. Into the final minute now, the third of the time added on, and this is not where Nematov and company want the ball, as he just slices it out of play. That gives Tractor another chance to eat up a little bit more time, as we're going to see just a cameo really here from Tomislav Strukai. Another Croatian attacker, and he comes on, and his arrival just disrupts play, eats up a bit of time, and it's still with the side in yellow. And here he is. What a first touch this could be, as he looks to set up what surely would be the clincher here. It might yet go in, because a shot from range is a good one, and Nematov just gets down in time. Is there time, though? We've eaten up the 3 minutes. The substitution will have added on a few seconds, but that might just about be that. And the whistle blows, and that is indeed that. Frustration and disappointment once again for PFC Nasaf, whose campaign in this AFC Champions League Elite continues to frustrate their fans, but they will have been cheered by the endeavour, by the effort, and by the chances they created in that second half. But it's all going beautifully for Dragan Skokic and his Tractor side here. The Iranians now have made it 3 wins on the bounce, but as they did last time out, having taken the lead, they had to weather something of a storm. They had to survive a few chances before coming away once again with the 3 points and the victory. Excellent outing from their front line. The goal, when it came from the Albanian Regilucha, but they were always a threat. And it turned out to be an entertaining match as a result. Both sides giving it their all, both with very different agendas going into this one, both demonstrating their appetite for the win. And in a game that was allowed to flow at times by our referee, Mohamed Nasruddin, it was certainly one that produced plenty of chances, plenty of talking points, and no shortage of highlights. So 2 very different stories now at the top and bottom ends of this Elite table, as we see a goalkeeper who once again has been beaten, but this time beaten by an extraordinary shot, a stunning strike from the edge of the area. And it's that familiar feeling, unfortunately, for Abdulvakir Nematov at the end of a match that has finished up at the Markazi Stadium with a scoreline of Nasaf 0, Tractor 1.